My beloved child, stay close to me in this moment. Do not let your mind wander, not because you are in trouble, but because heaven is near you with a tenderness you have been forgetting you deserve. I am not speaking to you from far away. I am with you in the quiet place behind your eyes, in the ache you keep swallowing, in the thoughts you cannot explain to anyone without feeling misunderstood. I know the way you hold your breath when you try not to cry. I know the way you keep going even when you feel empty. And I want you to feel this clearly now. I am Mary, and I have been allowed to come close to you as a mother comes close to a child who has carried too much for too long. You were not created to survive on tension. You were not made to live with your shoulders up, your jaw tight, your chest heavy, pretending you are fine because you do not want to be a burden. You are not a burden. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not invisible to heaven. Listen, there is a gentle order being released over your life right now. A calm, steady order, not panic, not chaos, not fear, peace. The kind that does not depend on your circumstances. The kind that enters first, then changes everything else after. I want you to feel it spreading in you as you listen. Let your breathing slow. Let your eyes soften. Let your mind stop fighting the moment. If these words are reaching you, it is not an accident. It is a touch. It is a sign that heaven knows where you are hiding your pain. And before you continue, mark this moment with a simple act of faith, like this message as a quiet yes, not for me, for you, so your spirit stops hesitating and starts receiving. This small gesture is a doorway, and you will be surprised how often the smallest doorway becomes the entrance for the biggest change. I see the nights you endure. I see the way your body lies down, but your thoughts keep walking. I see the memories that return when the room is dark. I see the worries that repeat the same sentence until you start believing it will never change. I see the way you blame yourself for being human. I see the way you whisper, "What is wrong with me?" when the truth is simply this: you are tired. You are carrying more than you were meant to carry alone. So I am asking you to bring your fears into the presence of God right now. Not later, not when you feel worthy. Now, offer them as they are, messy and heavy and confused. The Lord is not offended by your weakness. The Lord is not shocked by your struggle. Heaven has always known your story, and heaven is not backing away from you. In the quiet of your room, I want you to imagine something, not as fantasy, but as a way your heart can understand what is already true. Picture the light of God surrounding you like warmth, not like pressure. Picture it moving gently over your thoughts, organizing what has been tangled, calming what has been restless. Picture it touching the places you have been guarding, the places you do not let anyone enter, the places you have been trying to fix alone. There is a kind of loneliness that does not come from being alone. It comes from feeling unseen, from feeling like you must always be strong, from feeling like your prayers bounce off the ceiling. But listen to me. Your prayers do not disappear. Your tears are not wasted. Your waiting is not an empty hallway. It is a corridor, and a door is at the end of it. You may not realize this, but protection has been following you. There were moments you could have been harmed, but you were moved away from danger. There were situations that could have destroyed you, but you were held back. There were people who tried to pull you into confusion, but something inside you refused. That refusal was not just your personality, it was grace. It was the unseen hand of God keeping you from falling into what would have stolen your future. And I need you to understand something. Your softness is not weakness. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. Your heart is not a mistake. The enemy tries to convince tender people that they must become cold to survive. But heaven does not need you hardened. Heaven needs you healed, whole, steady, clear. Because what God is preparing for you cannot land on a heart that is constantly at war with itself. So there is a correction I must bring with love, not with shame. You cannot keep feeding the spirit of complaint and expect your faith to remain strong. Complaining feels like release, but it quietly drains your hope. It turns your eyes toward what is missing until you forget what is still present. I am not asking you to pretend everything is perfect. I am asking you to protect your heart from the habit of negativity. Replace it with honesty and trust. Say, Lord, I do not understand, but I will not abandon you. Say, Lord, I feel weak, but I will not speak defeat. Say, Lord, help me receive what you are already sending. And be careful with the voices around you. Some people are loud but empty. Some friendships are shallow and costly. They trade your peace for attention. They trade your future for a moment. They push you toward impulses, not purpose. You do not need many voices. You need the right ones. Choose the company of those who increase your faith, not your anxiety. Choose what builds you, not what drains you. You are being prepared, and preparation sometimes feels like pressure, but it is not punishment, it is shaping. The potter does not crush the clay to destroy it. The potter presses the clay to form it. God is forming you into someone who can carry blessing without losing yourself. Someone who can receive and remain humble. Someone who can rise without becoming bitter. Someone who can be trusted with more. I know you have been waiting for a turning point, a clear sign, a moment where you can finally exhale and say, it is changing. And I am telling you, heaven is already moving. You may not see the full picture yet, but you can feel the atmosphere shifting. That is not your imagination. That is your spirit sensing alignment. In the coming days, you will notice small confirmations. A message that arrives at the right time. A door that begins to open. A delay that turns into protection. A conversation that becomes direction. Do not ignore the small signs because they are the first footsteps of a miracle walking toward you. And I want you to respond in faith, not in fear. Do not trade your peace for obsessive thinking. Do not punish yourself by comparing your life to someone else's highlight. Do not let old disappointments teach you to expect nothing. You are not waiting in vain. You are not praying into silence. You are closer than you think. If your heart is trembling as you listen, do not be ashamed. That trembling is often the moment a burden begins to loosen. So breathe again. Let your shoulders drop. Let your spirit come out of survival mode. You do not have to fight God to receive God. Now, if you want to seal this moment, do one more simple thing. Subscribe to this channel as an act of faith, not as a routine action, and not as a symbol, but as a conscious choice to remain attentive, to prepare, and to stay awake. Let this be a quiet declaration that you are willing to be guided further. Write in the comments, I am here. Mother, I am listening. And if you know someone who has been carrying too much, share this message with them. Not as noise, as comfort, because sometimes the greatest mercy is simply being reminded that heaven has not left. Stay with me. There is more I must tell you. The story is not ending where you are. It is turning. My beloved child, you are still here. And that matters more than you realize. The fact that you stayed means your spirit is hungry for truth, not noise. It means the part of you that has been surviving in silence is finally willing to be seen. So come closer. Do not rush. Do not treat this like just another message. This is a moment of covering, and heaven does not waste moments like this. I want you to understand what is happening behind what you can see. Many people think God moves only when something changes on the outside. But the real movement often begins where no one applauds, where no one notices, where it is just you and God and the quiet fight inside your chest. That is where He begins. That is where He strengthens. That is where He prepares the ground so the blessing does not collapse your life when it arrives. Because yes, something is coming. Not a vague hope, not a pretty idea. Something real. Something that will make you look back and realize the delay was not abandonment. It was alignment. But listen carefully, because this is where many people lose what heaven is trying to deliver. They get close to breakthrough, then they become restless. They start checking the door every second. They start measuring every hour. They start demanding proof before peace, and their spirit becomes unstable. Not because they are evil, not because they are weak, but because they are tired and afraid of being disappointed again. God understands that fear, yet He is inviting you into something higher. The miracle He sends cannot land on a heart that is constantly bracing for impact. It needs space. It needs trust. It needs a spirit that can receive without shaking. That is why you have been learning to breathe again. That is why you have been learning to stay steady when nothing looks different. That is why your faith has been tested, not to break you, but to build your foundation. I am speaking to you as a mother now. There is a difference between waiting in faith and waiting in torment. Faith says, I do not see it yet, but I trust God is working. Torment says, if it does not happen soon, I will fall apart. And I know you have been close to that edge. I know you have whispered, I cannot do this much longer. I know you have smiled for others while your inside felt like it was folding. But hear me, you will not fold, you will not collapse, you will not be swallowed by the season you are in. You are being carried even when you cannot feel it. You are being protected even when you cannot explain how. Your life is not hanging by a thread, it is held by a hand. There are things God has blocked that you never saw. There were outcomes that could have crushed you, but they did not reach you. There were relationships that could have destroyed your peace, but they ended before they went further. There were traps that looked like opportunities, but you felt uneasy and stepped back. That was not luck. That was guidance. That was a gentle rescue. Now I need you to do something practical with your heart. Not dramatic, not complicated, practical. Cleanse your inner space. Release bitterness. Release the words that people used against you. Release the labels they placed on you. Release the shame you carry from mistakes that God has already forgiven. Do not keep reopening a wound just because you are used to pain. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to be free. You are allowed to stop punishing yourself. And yes, guard your mouth in this season. Not because you must be perfect, but because your words shape your atmosphere. Constant negativity trains your mind to expect defeat. It drains the oil of faith. It makes you feel trapped, even when a door is already unlocking. So when you feel the complaint rising, pause and turn it into prayer. Say, Lord, help me. Say, Lord, I trust you. Say, Lord, I choose peace today. Your peace is not passive. Your peace is a weapon. It confuses the enemy. It strengthens your discernment. It keeps you sensitive to the small signs heaven uses to guide you. And you will see signs. Some will be quiet, a sudden calm in your body, a new clarity about what to do next, a conversation that shifts something, an unexpected message, a change in timing that protects you, a door that begins to open, slowly at first, then suddenly. Do not ignore small beginnings. God often starts with a whisper before He sends the thunder. Let me speak plainly. The enemy would love to keep you exhausted, because exhausted people cannot dream clearly. Exhausted people accept less than they were meant to have. Exhausted people settle for survival and call it normal. But heaven is restoring your strength because you are meant to build, not just endure. You are meant to rise, not just exist. You are meant to be a blessing, not a shadow. So in these days, choose what strengthens you. Choose sleep when you can. Choose calm worship over anxious scrolling. Choose silence over arguments. Choose prayer over panic. Choose wise voices over draining voices. Choose the company of those who help you breathe again, not those who make you feel small for needing rest. And listen, you do not have to explain your healing to anyone. Some people only liked you when you were easy to control. Some people only understood you when you were broken. When God lifts you, they will not know where to place you. Let them wonder, let them watch. Your job is not to prove yourself. Your job is to stay close to God. Now I want you to imagine something again. Picture your life as a house, and for a long time, you have been living in only one room. the room of worry, the room of pressure, the room where you keep replaying what went wrong. But God is walking through the whole house. He is opening doors you kept shut. He is cleaning corners you ignored. He is letting light into places you thought would always stay dark. That is what preparation feels like. It is uncomfortable at first, because you are used to carrying things that were never yours to carry. But once the house is cleared, blessing can enter without being contaminated by fear. So stay steady. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are being refined, shaped, strengthened. And what is coming will not only comfort you, it will change your path. If you feel this in your spirit, confirm it with a simple sentence in the comments. Write, "I choose peace. I trust God." And then, for the next few hours, do one gentle thing that supports your healing. Drink water. Step outside for a minute. Put your hand on your chest and breathe slowly. Turn down the noise. Let your heart come back home. Stay with me. There is still a final part to speak over you, and it will seal what heaven is doing. My beloved child, you have come this far, and I want you to know something very clearly before I speak my final words to you. You did not arrive here by accident. You were not led here by curiosity alone. You were guided here because your spirit needed confirmation, covering, and closure. Heaven does not begin a work and abandon it halfway. What was opened in you will be sealed in peace. So now, slow your heart. This is not the moment to analyze. This is the moment to receive. There are seasons in life when God speaks loudly, and there are seasons when He speaks softly. This is a soft season, a sealing season, a season where strength does not come from excitement, but from calm certainty. You are stepping out of survival and into alignment, and alignment always feels quieter than chaos. I want to address something you have been carrying that you rarely admit, even to yourself. You have been afraid that if you finally relax, everything will fall apart. You have learned to stay tense because tension felt like control. You believed that if you stopped worrying, stopped checking, stopped preparing for the worst, you would be caught off guard again. But hear me carefully. Peace is not negligence. Rest is not weakness. Trust is not foolishness. God is not asking you to drop your guard and become careless. He is asking you to lay down the burden of pretending you are in charge of everything. There is a difference. You were never meant to carry the weight of outcomes. You were meant to walk in obedience and trust the one who sees further than you do. You have done enough. You have prayed enough. You have endured enough. And now the posture is changing, from striving to receiving, from bracing to believing, from holding your breath to breathing again. There is a reason your spirit has felt tired in a way sleep could not fix. It was not physical exhaustion alone. It was the fatigue of carrying unanswered questions, delayed promises, and silent seasons. But silence never meant absence. Silence meant preparation. Silence meant something sacred was being arranged without interruption. I want you to let go of one thing now. Let go of the need to know how everything will unfold. That need has kept your mind busy, but it has not protected your heart. You do not need the full map. You need the next step. And that step is peace. You are not behind in life. You are not late to your destiny. You are not being punished by waiting. Waiting has been shaping your discernment, deepening your compassion, and softening your pride. You are emerging wiser, not weaker, kinder, not smaller, stronger, not hardened. And there is something else. Stop rehearsing old pain as if it is a prophecy. Just because it happened before does not mean it will repeat. God is not bound by your past patterns. He is not limited by what failed you before. He creates new paths in places you thought were closed permanently. What is ahead of you will require a healed heart. That is why healing came before movement. That is why peace arrived before clarity. That is why rest came before reward. Because what God is giving you is not fragile, but you must be whole enough to carry it without fear. So I speak this gently but firmly over you now. You are safe. You are covered. You are guided. You are not alone in this season. You will not miss what is meant for you. You will recognize it when it arrives. And when it does, it will not bring chaos. It will bring confirmation. Do not rush the days ahead. Do not measure your worth by visible progress alone. Do not compare your journey to someone else's timeline. Stay attentive. Stay humble. Stay open. In the coming days, choose gratitude even before results appear. Gratitude is not denial. Gratitude is alignment. It keeps your heart receptive and your spirit light. It tells heaven, I trust you enough to thank you before I see it. And finally, hear this as my closing word to you. You are deeply loved, not conditionally, not temporarily, not based on performance. You are loved because you exist, because you were known before you were formed, because heaven recognizes your heart, and nothing you are facing now has the power to undo that truth. Rest tonight, release tomorrow. Walk forward gently. God is already ahead of you. And I, as a mother, leave you now in peace, knowing that what was spoken has already taken root. Stay still. Stay faithful. Everything that needs to happen will come at the right time.